Welcome back to Black Star Dove. Welcome to my channel. Um, Today is a topic that really hits home for me. Speaking of the whole Derek Jackson situation, um, we had our fun with it. We laughed at his expense a little bit. I feel sorry for what his wife has to go through and what the family has to go through. Since he is staying with him, I wish him nothing but the best going forward. And I hope that he's a man of his word and continues to, you know, hold up and celebrate his wife and his family. Excuse me. The topic of this video is why are black men losing? Um, and just seeing how people wanted him to fail so badly and why we as a people are failing so badly, especially as black men, it got me to thinking. So I was doing some research. Um, when exactly did the black man started falling? Now, that's a loaded question, and there are different answers for that question. You could trace it back to the 70s when the factory started shutting down and the black man was out of work. You can go to the 80s when we had the crack epidemic. You can go to the 90s with gang life and mass incarceration of the black man. You can go to the 2000s with the lack of education of the black man, and we wasn't as educated as our other races around us, especially with the No Child Left Behind Act. I will argue that did more damage than good. And then you have the 2010s, which a friend of mine calls the wussification of black people. The wussification of black people, mostly black men. And what that means is that with the 2010s, it became fashionable to almost be, you know what I'm talking about, like people like Young Thug and things of that nature. A whole lot of people would say that's what takes a man out from being a man. They wanted to castrate the black man. Um, I feel like do whatever makes you you and whatever makes you happy. Um, but the premise of this video that I wanted to discuss is why are we losing as you know as a collective, as the black man collective. If you think about it, we don't really have financial literature. uh, Me speaking about somebody not having financial literacy, I can't even really speak well. um, we don't have proper financial literacy. We usually lack in, let's just say, academics, anything outside of sports. We're talking about the overall collective, and there could be a multitude of reasons as to why. Because if you look at where most of the heavy black populations are at in the major cities, it's usually some of the poorest, rundown neighborhoods, and that reflects in the school systems. So, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of videos on YouTube that would take you down that rabbit hole. I don't have the time for that. um, so, like I said, we lack in academics, we lack in economics, um, we really lack in compassion. Because I won't say not most. When I was looking at an article, I think it was like 68% of current millennials have grew up in a single parent household. So take that for whatever you will. Um, looks like there's a mark on my nose. That's just a shadow. Okay, I'm tripping. Uh, but I gotta stop saying ooh and I just like really just have my thoughts together because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is actually was really genuine and how I feel. Um, I read a Forbes article that said that black women last year, 2020 during the pandemic, was the number one race of all, like, of everything. Like, it was black women that started the most businesses last year. And if you look at Goldman Sachs, they just pledged 10 billion for black women businesses. Now, you can look at that as another way of them trying to castrate the black man because they're only giving it to black women. So they're just trying to empower women and depower the man. You can look at it like that. But I look at it as if our sisters are doing everything that they need for us to continue to survive, while we as black men continue to point the finger. You know, something is always someone else's fault from the grand scheme of things, from what I have collected. You know, like it's always the white man's fault. Not saying that the white man isn't guilty of anything, but I truly believe once you get to the age of 24, really, there are no more excuses. You're a full adult, and you know what you can and can't do. And sometimes people just choose not to, and that's okay because that's a personal choice. That's what they choose to do. But it's always been a blame deflection as to why we as black men can't get the job done. Um, Something about us having records or things like that nature, and that has some truth to it, especially if you're a prior felon. But usually, you're a prior felon because of your own choices. Now, what is the circumstances of that choices? That's a whole different question. But we are losing right now because our black women don't feel protected. Our black women are outsmarting us. Our black women are out earning us, and our black women are going to other races. So what does that leave us? That leaves us with whatever we have. We just have ourselves, and we have this ego inside of us that just think that we're the shit, and everybody wants us. I mean, like we said, we're black people are generally really good at sports and things of that nature, but outside of like the sports aspect and maybe something sexual, no one seeks a black man's opinion on anything that really matters. I don't know if that makes any sense. Let me say that again. No one seeks the black man's opinion on anything that truly matters, unless that person has to do something with sports or something of that nature. Like for instance, people will listen to LeBron because LeBron is a great sports figure. But if LeBron wasn't, he was just some man on the street, they really wouldn't care. I mean, even with black women have gotten to the point where because we have disrespected them, they have now in turn disrespected us, and we have a gender war in our own race while we're still fighting other races. Um, it's just like we as a collective, we have to get our shit together. And I'm challenging every black man that ever sees this, challenging myself. Like I already had one business open. I just recently opened my second business. And it's not about opening businesses and all that stuff. Do what you're passionate about. But it's time for us to start taking responsibility. It's time for us to start having a sense of community again. Um, I did a poll in a Facebook group here. There's so many Facebook groups, so I forgot which one. I think it was like being black in Phoenix, where I asked black women, do they feel safe with black men, like just in general? And the answer was, if that person wasn't like a close relative or someone that they knew, they did not feel comfortable being with any black man. And that kind of broke my heart because, man, just like our own people don't feel comfortable around us. And then I had to think about myself, like, do I even feel comfortable around black men all the time? And the answer is no, because like we just had a huge barbecue picnic that happened this past weekend. And one of the jokes people made was, black people can't go nowhere without shooting each other and starting to fight. And you think these are things that we think in the back of our mind when we go into places. Like, I have to consider where I'm bringing my son because, there's usually things that known to get violent, and these are things that are heavily associated with black men. Like wherever you see a group of black men, you see violence, and it's not just white people that see that; it's us who see that, and we feed into that narrative. So, like I said, I've been trying to reach out more to my brothers and just saying, "What's up, man? Just talk to me." Um, like I said, it's not going to be an overnight process, but I really do hope that we can get our shit together because the women are getting their shit together. Not saying that they're absolved of any blame. I don't want to say that. But as a collective, they seem to be outpacing us. And if we don't catch up, we are going to fall behind. So we need to stop all the BS. We need to stop all the blaming. We need to get on our P's and Q's and get this shit done. You know, I believe in me, and I know you believe in you. And if we believe in each other, we could just do this shit. So, I mean, there's no reason for us really not to. There's more than enough money. Trust me, they're printing money every day. There's more than enough money for everyone to get some. And you can live the lifestyle that you want to live. If you want to be modest, you can. If you want to be super extravagant, you can. That's whatever you choose. But from here on out, we should really start working with each other, building each other the same way that black women build each other, and holding each other accountable, and proceeding to, you know, help the next black man. Um, like I said, I'm going to do my part in every way possible. I'm not human, so I'm pretty sure I'll fuck up sooner or later. But as long as I'm conscious about it, you have my word as a man that you're my brother and I'm going to help you. Um, Take care. I love you. Peace.